Yeah.
Is that late?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's that time. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen.
That time of the year?
Is it Christmas? I could go for Christmas.
Let's get some drinks.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. If anybody has a GoPro and decides they want to plug a microphone into it, they want $50 to do that. That's insane.
And before you do that, you have to do an update.
Yeah, I saw
on your GoPro.
I know, I saw that. I'm real thrilled about that too.
Hello,
What's
hello,
up, everyone?
Phoenix.
How about them Bruins? Wow, really? That's how you're going to open the show? Okay. All right, I see how you are. The Bruins kicked the crap out of the Lightning. They
I know, man.
big time.
Hey, man, it's a game.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a game. That was a murder.
No, I'm saying, you know.
What's up? What's up? What's up? So, it's been a week. You know, I find it funny. We start the show on Monday.
Yeah.
We start the deal on Monday. We're all peppy and ready to go, and it's exciting because it's a Monday. And
Belize.
It's Saturday. We just finished up, and it's like, yeah. Make sure you have that thing all the way up. You know, so it's like you get to see us at our best point.
Yep.
And our most exhausted point possible.
Correct.
It's funny. I just think it's funny. Happy Saturday. What's up, man? How's it going? So, anyways, this was a fun week. We had a lot of stuff to do.
Texas is here.
Everything this week was on a time crunch. It was really weird. Everything we had to do, like, immediately. Get it done, get it done, get it done. So, it was weird. It was like we didn't film anything this week, which was odd. Because we did a lot of stuff we wanted to film, but we couldn't because I don't feel anything about Android radios. I haven't had no luck with them, any of the ones we've ever gotten in, so, you know, buyer beware always on those Android radios. You read everything in the forums about the industry forums, and they're all terrible nightmare things. Everyone we've had, we've always taken out, so. Houston, Texas, quick question. I bought a Pioneer 501. What do you guys think of it? You know, that's a solid radio. The 501, the 601, that whole series, they've been making that now. That platform, they've been making that platform, that particular platform. This is the second year for that particular platform with that operating system. But they've been making that specific platform now for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's solid. You know, it's solid. You know, that guy is good. You're going to have a nice quality, long-lasting radio there. So,
yeah, what's up, Georgia?
Nice new Fosgate sign. Actually, the Fosgate sign's been there. It
Eric?
was above my toolbox, and we moved it over to here when we rearranged the room a little bit to make room to move. Is that a Boba Fett binder in the background? That is not a binder. This is the Kubiachi statue that is sitting in my living room.
What's up, Jason?
And, how's that, Fro?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? We'll go ahead and pull this down. So, this
Hello
is here
from London. What's going on?
It's filled with memorabilia. So, like, here you go. This is an early picture of Haley back when she was tiny.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then this is another Haley picture here. Very creepy. And then the creme de la creme, as they say, and it is this guy right here. This is one of Alpine's first 5-channel amplifiers that they sold, and the sales pitch was how tall it was. It's very tiny, but what's unique about this is it only has 4-channel input. 4-channel input because back then, 6-channel wasn't a thing. They really didn't have anything 6-channel. It has 5 channels of output, and it takes this guy has a 25 amp fuse. So this was the cool 5-channel back in the day. So that's what this box has in it.
Yep.
Along with, you know, a couple action figures. You know, because when you get bored in the install band, you want to have a little war. You know, you got your there's your Boba Fett and your Stormtrooper. You know, looking all cool. So, anyways, that's what's in that box. Thoughts on blow-throughs? You know, we're not centered here. You need to go that way, son.
Why?
Because it's gonna screw with my head all the whole show.
Okay.
There we go.
How about now?
Too far. That's better. Blow through is a great idea if you're willing to sacrifice your truck, because that's what you're doing. You're giving up your truck. The only way to ever go back is to weld it all back to place. But if you want amazing, crazy, stupid bass in a pickup truck, you got to do a blow through, and you won't be disappointed. That's the truth. I mean, Doug did a blow through in his, and he did it because that's the only way to get super bass into those things.
Did you answer what do you think about the blow through?
That was what I just answered.
Okay. Where do I find the little cream caps you use to put the wires?
So supposedly those are on Amazon now. I haven't looked for them. We get them from Amp Global, which is Pack. Artie, who was on the show. So if you have a Stinger, Pack, Best Kits dealer in your area, they should be able to get them for you. They come in bags of 100. The model number is, ready? Here we go. The model number is CONBCS. And that's these little guys right here. For those of you that are going, what are they talking about? This is what you use to terminate the ends of wires. They're super tiny. So that's them there. But supposedly they are on Amazon now. I just haven't looked for them yet. If I think about it, I'll try to find them this weekend. And if I do, I'll put a link to it in the tool drawer, because that's where you find all your cool installation needs. DNFtooldrawer.com.
Yep.
All right, give me that.
All right, I have a 2018 Kia Soul.
Yeah. Ooh.
With Harman Kardon system.
Ooh.
How to put an aftermarket amp using DSR1.
That's probably going to be really hard to do, because more than likely you're going to need to do some kind of summing. I know from previous Kias, when they have those big systems in it, I'm just putting this stuff away. There's a lot of summing that has to be done. And a DSR1 is not made for summing. So what you'd want to do first is figure out what each one of the channels in the amplifier is going to. So if you have the go to the factory amplifier, take a tone generator or unplug it and use a 9-volt battery, pop it and see what's going on. So if you have like a channel that goes to tweeters and a channel that goes to the door and a channel that goes to the rear, maybe some rear tweeters and possibly a rear sub, you're going to need summing. DSR1 won't do summing.
What do you think about power subwoofers? Any recommendations?
We use the Rockford P300 10 and 12. We just put one of those in Haley's car. She loves it. We do a ton of those. We've had plenty of the install bays that we've showed that, and I think we even have a review on that. Surprised at how good that thing sounds. Yeah, it's great. The nice thing about it is, like, we build an umbilical cord when we do it, so it's real easy to take in and out. It's like the ultimate soccer mom bass, but we put them in everything. I mean, we get guys that come in all the time for them. So yeah, that's the one we use and we recommend.
All right, what's a good bass with good but economic setup, like a $300?
I mean, you could find something like a Boss amp or a Planet Audio amp or any one of those, sub $100, 1500 watt amplifiers, all online. I think Old School Car Stereos use some of those every now and then. They put out like 150 to 300 watts.
How much is the P312?
Well, the P312 is the perfect price point for that sub $300 install. But if you want 212s or something like that.
But I mean, if it's just,
I'm answering the question, man.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the single sub would work. But if you want, not everyone wants to do that all-in-one package. If you want a two-piece, you're going to have to go cheap amplifier. And something like 212s, like a set of Comp Cs or
Comp Cs, yeah.
Comp Cs, the yellows or the white ones. You can find those in a box, usually between $200 to $250. Maybe some Prime, Rockford Prime Series 1s. But yeah, like you said, that Rockford Power P300 10 or 12 is really, that's our kind of go-to sub $300 thing, All
right, do you guys get concerned about mounting DSP under the seat with the amount of rain that you get?
Not really. I've never had water up underneath the seat of my car, and that's not really an issue. If we're gonna do something that like a LCQ1, and that's going to have to go underneath their seat or something like that, then we're going to go ahead and put a plexi cover over it, mainly just so people don't touch it. But with all the amps and all the everything we've put underneath the seats, we've never had any problems with water, which is great. Because if we did, we would naturally change what we're doing to adapt to the surroundings. But no issues.
Right. What do you think about the Pioneer D series 6x9 components versus the Alpine S series?
Ah, man, that's a good question. That is a really good question. You know, and we just did some S series this week.
S series.
And they were really nice. But we've done, man. Okay, initial thoughts, because we've only done a handful of each one of them, is I feel that, my thought, this is going to be mine, you can have your own opinion on it. I think the S-types, and I'm not a big fan of the S-types up until this point, or S-series as they're called now.
Yeah.
I've adamantly hated them, but yeah, they're really nice. And I'm going to go with the S-series on that. If those are the two to pick on, which one do you want?
I just want to argue with you, so I'm going to pick the Pioneers.
So you're offering nothing. Way to go, man. Way to go.
All right. No, I mean, in the end of the day, yes. The new Alpine S series, it's way better.
I would say it's way better. I think they're just better.
Okay.
They're better. I think they sound better. Now, there again, 6 months from now, once we've actually had time to do a whole bunch of them, we might change our minds on that one.
But if you had the Pioneer, I mean, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, the Rockford Fosgate. Is the Rockford Fosgate 360.3 outdated? You know, that's a great question.
It's on New York.
I don't know if it's specifically outdated. It still has, there again, it'll do summing that the DSR-1 won't do. So it's just a different tool to do a different job. You know, is it outdated? No, I mean, I don't think it's outdated. It sounds good. It suits a need. It does, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at all these processors, there's a certain core group of things that they all need to do, right? I mean, if you look at like an Audison Bit 1, Bit 1 has been around forever, and people still love using it because it still does everything that they need in a DSP. So what makes something out of date? Features? No, because they all going to have the same features. They're all going to have a gazillion channels of equalization. They're all going to have time correction, level control, crossovers, different style crossover slopes. You know, so what would make it out of date is my question. I mean, I think that's why, you know, the DSE 360.3. No, I don't think it's out of date at all. I think it still suits a need that Rockford needs to have, which is the DSR-1 is a great tool. It's affordable, but it does no summing. That wasn't what it was built for. If you still need summing, you need the 360.
Correct.
So it just sucks to use. Now, that is a good point, Jason. The software. Software is key on all of these, and that's where it gets really nice, because all these manufacturers will let you download their software and play with them in a test mode. If you're going to buy one, download the software and play with it, because it has to make sense to you. Like audio control, the nice thing about the DM608 and the 810 is the software. The software makes everything, okay? That's what makes that one fun to use. Just like the DSR-1 is fun to use on an iPad. It makes sense. It's easy to use. Some of these other processors, not so fun to use.
What's up, Eddie?
But that doesn't mean you can't get them to sound good.
Yeah, alright. Hey guys, I plugged my RP4 into my PC, but it won't connect. The app tried two different cords, and all I get is fade orange blinking light.
So,
any thoughts?
Okay, so on the RP4, PAC has 4 or 5 different updater softwares.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you downloaded the right updater software for one, because there's several to choose from. The other thing is, if it has, it's going to be software. So because the RP4 has a USB on it, if it has a USB, there's software. Otherwise, you need the pack up, which is this guy right here. This is what's used, and it has this funky connector on it, which if yours doesn't have, then, but you have to make sure you download the right software in order for it to work. And then of course you have to make sure that all the permissions are on. You can call their tech support desk on Monday and they can help you out with that if you're having a hard time.
All right.
Hello from Phoenix.
Hello from Phoenix.
JL Tweak. There you go. That's got great software from what I've learned.
What's the benefit of using the RP5 versus the RP4 on a 2006 Dodge Ram that has steering wheel controls?
The RP4 and the what?
Or the RP5.
Well, they don't make an RP4 or 5 for a Dodge Ram. Dodge Ram doesn't have an RP5. They just have an RP4. The only company, the only brands, the only manufacturer they make an RP5 for is Chevy. The Dodge just is RP5.
RP4.
I'm sorry, RP4. Yeah. So there's nothing there to decide. You just get the RP4 and it works great. They have an LC and they have a C2R.
What's up, Tony from UK?
But yo, Tony. But for that, the pack RP4 is the biggest you can get for the Rams.
What's that, Tucson?
You can get an iData Link piece.
Rockford.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Control say, who makes metal radio dash kits? I hate the plastic ones.
Nobody.
Nobody makes that?
Not really anymore. No one really is doing metal dash kits anymore. Scosche makes a couple of them here and there, but for the most part, no. There's nothing metal anymore. It kind of sucks. It's the brackets that are the problem. But yeah, the iData kits, as they make the iData kits, they're trying to make everything with metal brackets on theirs. But there again, they only make like 4 or 5 dash kits, so nothing good there.
All right, so this is good. Do you ever deal with the older classic cars in which the plastic trim panels are so old and dry that they impossible to not crack? What do you tell the customers?
So, okay, that's a great question. So right from the get-go, those are cars that we get in every now and then, and what we'll do is Paul typically has no idea of what he just took in. He has no clue. He never goes out. He knows nothing about the car. So he just sells the stuff and then boom. What we do at that point is we go out there and we'll look at the car and inspect the car, and I'll figure out what we're supposed to be doing, and then I'll walk back in and I'll have a conversation with the customer and I'll point to him exactly, this is going to crack, this is already cracked, this is going to crack here, this is going to break when we go to take it out, the likelihood of this snapping in two is very high, and I'll say, so you have to decide because we're not going to be liable for it, so if you don't want this to break, then we're not going to do it. Actually, that conversation happens pretty much anytime any Nissan pickup truck comes in. Like a Pathfinder or the Frontier, that has the stupid little tray on the top that you got to pop the tray up, and then there's two, which we talked about in the video, there's these 2 metal clips that hold this whole big plastic bezel on. That likes to shatter, just poof. And I paid for one because it just destroyed itself on me one time, and I was like, oh, fucking great. And I said that's so. And I had to buy him a new one because, it was our fault. We didn't talk to them about it before we do it. So we tell everyone now that, hey, look, this is what could happen. We are going to be as careful as humanly possible. We have all the proper tools to do it. We take all the precautions we can. But at the end of the day, your car was made poorly. That's not my problem. And then with age, like a lot of the times we get the Cadillacs, and you have to pull out the air vents to get to the screws behind them. And those will never successfully come apart. They're going to break. And so you just tell them, listen, if you want to keep your dash in check, don't change the radio.
All right, what's 454? It's a good epicenter for the price.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
So, looking for a doubled-in head unit for my Colorado around 500 mark. What brand would you suggest? So here's the problem. Okay, so let's talk about that Colorado. Finding a radio for your Colorado real quick for 500 bucks. Okay, really what you're looking for is a $250 radio, not a $500 radio. And this is why, because you're going to need several things. You're going to need a smart harness, you're going to need a dash kit, and you're going to need an antenna adapter. Now we just talked about the RP products. The RP5 in the pack line, when you buy an RP5, it comes with the antenna adapter and the harness and everything you need in order to integrate it into any form of Chevy car. So if you have steering wheel controls, if you have Bose, if you don't, if you do, it doesn't matter, an RP5 will go right in. and it comes with the antenna adapter, as I said. It's also the most expensive version of that. So if you just have steering wheel controls and no Bose, you can do an RP5. Either way, you're going to spend anywhere between, let's say, $80 to $120 on a wiring harness / smart harness. If you get the RP5, it comes with the antenna adapter. Antenna adapters there again anywhere between, let's say, $10 to $20. Dash kit could be anywhere between $15 to $35. So you're going to spend about $200 to $250 in parts before you buy the radio. So now you're only going to spend about $250 on a radio. If you're looking for a $250 radio, both Kenwood and Pioneer make great radios. That 501 the gentleman just asked us about is a great radio. The bargain basement badass radio from Kenwood is the 350. We did a review on that earlier a couple months ago. That one's dirt cheap and has tons of features. If you're looking for something with CarPlay or Android Auto though, that's going to take you into, let's say, a 2400 Pioneer or a 2400 or a 2300, and those are going to be a little bit more. You're going to spend about $600 in total for that kind of thing. So that's what you got to think about. Remember, when you're trying to buy a radio for your car, there's so much more that goes into it now than just buying the radio. There's all the parts, so you got to figure out. All
right. Have you guys ever able to get look at the Sony AV5000?
No, Sony kind of fell through on us. That was kind of a, yeah, so.
Not yet.
Not yet. I haven't given up hope on Sony, but I kind of have, so we'll see how that pans out.
Did you guys ever play with the Kicker CSS 6x9 components?
Yes. Yes, we have. Yeah. You know, those are great little guys if you're just doing like 35 watts of power, maybe deck power, but if you try to drive them with, let's say, 50 to 75 watts of power, they have a light bulb in the crossover to absorb any DC from clipping, and it is super sensitive, and what happens is it attenuates the tweeter when that thing turns on so you don't blow the tweeter. So basically what happens is anything over that wattage just constantly keeps that light bulb down and your tweeter just goes to poo. So we use them very rarely, only when we're doing like low power systems.
Alright, let's see, the knob on the base controllers doesn't seem like it's long enough to go through the dash of any car in general, like the base knob.
So we typically don't have any problems with that.
No.
I mean, no, I mean, you know, okay, so for example, if you get the 1/8 inch one, you know, if your amp has the 1/8 inch one on there, you can use a headphone extension to make it as long as you want. So you can add another 6 feet on there.
But go like making a hole in the dash and go through it. I mean,
you know, here's the thing: we always mount the bass knob last. Okay, our bass knobs always get mounted last because we know you know, we're working from the trunk to the front of the car, so we don't pick a spot for that until we're done. So it always fits. What's your favorite TV show of all time?
Game of Thrones.
Really, of all times? That's a new show. You didn't have anything when you were a kid?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think. Like I liked Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, yes.
I'm a big Pinky and the Brain fan. I have those on DVD. I have the Muppets on DVD. I was a big fan of The Fall Guy with Lee Majors. That Miami Vice. Loved Miami Vice.
Okay.
There was another show that was on when Miami Vice was on called Crime Story, but Miami Vice for sure. I had to watch that every Friday night. That was big time fun. You know, my favorite movies are Ghostbusters and Predator.
Huh? Yeah, I like Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So,
Animaniacs. Who are you gonna call?
Yeah, Animaniacs had loved those guys.
Yeah.
Because that was Pinky and the Brain. So
Wacko,
Wacko, and Dot. Dot was the girl.
That was the girl.
Yeah, I don't remember what the other was.
Jacko.
Who had the 50 disc to fill? Okay, 50 disc CD changers. Actually, funny story. I had a 100 disc CD player and a 300 disc CD player for my house, and I still have the 300 disc CD player. It's the Pioneer Carousel, and it is full, and I use it just to store the CDs. I have all the cases in the garage, and I have the cool little binder that holds them all, and I plug it in when I need to get to the hard copies of the CD.
All right.
So what oscilloscope? Actually, you know, we don't use a lot of the oscilloscope. We have the handheld, this one right here, which seems to be the installer.
Married with children.
Married with Children. That was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, we have this guy right here that we use for a lot of the videos. This seems to be the one everyone likes to use.
And we use the DD1.
We use, you know, use all those. But the one thing, we just ordered a brand new full color oscilloscope because we want it more for the videos. Having that guy there is nice, but for videos it's kind of boring.
So you guys can enjoy it.
So
more.
I just ordered a giant. But you know, you can get the laptop attachments now.
Yeah.
That if you have a Windows laptop, that are relatively inexpensive. You can use the whole laptop thing to be your oscilloscope. So that's something to you know, check out if you're trying to find something a little bit cheaper. Dean, problem in the Beetle when I just had the front and back. What was Pioneer Z series added when there is no bass, not pounding. The LC goes into protect mode. Oh wow. Oh, that's really weird. So when the bass was pounding, can we find that one? Okay, that's way out of there. Okay. Let me see if I can find that again. Going to
all right, I got it.
Okay. What is
he said, then it's a problem in the video when I just had the front and back Pioneer C series. Just add the 10 Pioneer subwoofer, 2 ohms, and when there is a bass.
When there is bass.
Not too pounding.
Bass. The amp goes to protection mode. Okay. Oh, so you're running at 1 ohm. Is the amp 1 ohm stable? Is the amp 1 ohm stable in mono? That's the question I didn't know if it was 1 ohm stable in mono. I thought it was. I don't know what it is. I'd have to check.
That's the LC.
It's the 1200. That's the big amp.
It's a 1 ohm.
Is it 1 ohm? I didn't think it was because it's a multi-channel amplifier. I thought it was going to be.
It's just a 2 ohm.
Might be 2 ohm.
Jason.
Come on, Jason, man. What the heck?
I need your help.
That would be the first thing I would check. Is I would check to see if it is what is all right. So
if that's 1 ohm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like.
All right, here we go.
It is?
No, I'm looking, man.
I'm looking,
Jason
is the same, look.
Oh, who's going to get there first? Come
on, guys.
It's going to be, yep, 4 ohm mono.
It's 2 ohm.
It's 2 ohm mono.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, this says 400 watts. No, it's 4 ohm mono. No, it's 4 ohm mono. 400 watts RMS times 3 bridge at 4 ohm mono. It is 2 ohm stereo capable.
Yeah, that's 2 stereo, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's wired at 4 ohm.
It's wired to 4 ohm. Are we sure? All right, so do we have 2 ohm on left and 2 ohm on right, or do we have 4 ohm at mono? Because okay, 4 ohm mono. So we have to make sure it's 4 ohm mono. It can be 2 ohm stereo or 4 ohm mono. That'd be the one thing to check. The other thing too is because it's a Volkswagen, check your grounds. Check your grounds. Make sure check to see what kind of voltage you have at the amplifier when the bass hits. That's also a really clear indicator. To make sure that the voltage is where it needs to be. Do you guys ever think Jesus, look, do you guys ever think you will be getting a 3D printer to make parts?
That's what I want.
Yes.
I want it.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we were actually going to get one this month, but we decided to go with the color oscilloscope instead because I thought that would be more beneficial for the videos.
Yeah.
But no, you know, it's one of those things that there's only so many hours in a day, and we want one, and so right now I'm trying to do the research on what 3D printer and what software. It's the software that's the kick in the nuts, because you can get 3D printers pretty reasonable, but you have to have the software to make these products. It's the same with a CNC machine. You know, you have to sit there and have the time to make these.
The CNC machine is awesome.
These products, and it's something we want to do. We don't have a lot of room, so we're gonna have to figure out where to put all this stuff.
Laser cutter, yeah, that one too.
Oh, dude, yes. Yeah. I'd rather have. Honestly, yes. Yeah. The laser cutter is what I want, but it's a car. I mean, they don't make any inexpensive, affordable laser cutters. They're all crazy money, and I just can't justify that right now in my world. So as much as I really want one, you know, I'm not going to do it because that's just too much. So, you know, the CNC machine would be nice. The 3D printer, you know, the problem with the 3D printers is they're slow. So even if we need one, It's going to be tough. What about a 3D camera
For the
videos?
videos.
Okay, so the whole problem with the 3D cameras right now is time. They don't shoot for long periods of time. So if you were to do a 3D printer, a 3D camera, for one thing, they eat up tons of memory because it's an insane amount of memory, but you only get like 15 minutes in a shot. So 15 minutes in a shot is really not enough to do anything. You know, when we shoot a car, that's a day and a half for one of those big jobs like the H3 that we just put up. That's a day and a half. That was, it was a ton of footage. It was a ton of footage. I mean, like, wow. Like, okay, so to shoot just little segments in 3D would be the only thing you could get out of it. But push the button, come back the next day. You know,
yeah.
You know, that would be, what about a 360 live stream? 3D FAT, 4K is where it's at. Yeah, definitely 4K is where it's at for sure.
It's gonna be a lot
I think
of
right
work.
now for 4K, we probably won't switch to 4K for a little bit longer because it's YouTube for one. The power that you need to edit in 4K is huge, and right now it's just turning around content that makes sense. So, you know, you know, the GoPros we have will do 4K. The big Canons we have don't. I mean, really, at the end of the day, how close to our face do you really need to be?
Yeah. Red GTZ, yes, you need to.
What?
Micro bypass Pioneer MVH.
Yes. You need a micro bypass.
Same
Okay,
like
all right. So on the MVH, it will use the micro bypass, and there again, you only need the micro bypass to get into menus. So if you don't plan on getting into once you set up the menus, just hook it up to the switch. You know, it's on, off, on. So you know, if you don't want to get into the menus for anything, on, off, on. Keep it easy.
Bypass is easy.
Hey
guys, I have a Kenwood 9903S, and I starts making a hissing sound.
Okay.
Hissing sound.
Yeah.
You can hear more when it's not playing.
Yes.
When it's not music playing. Is there a new update for it? I have the June 2017 update.
That's the latest update, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Contact 9903, so that's going to be excellent. Contact your Alpine dealer, see if you can get that in, see if you can get that taken care of. There has been issues reported through here that there is some funky noises on some of those radios, so definitely want to get that checked out. Editing 4K is a nightmare. It is. It's definitely a nightmare for sure. How long do we spend editing? We spend a ton of time editing. So just to give you an idea of what my day usually transpires when we do a install diaries, because that's the easiest one to compare to. Install diaries, generally get home, get showered, eat dinner, spend some time with the families. Usually start editing between 9:30, 10 o'clock. Try to get done by 2 and post it so that I can go to bed.
Yeah.
So that's usually that schedule. That's why when you guys are like, oh, I wish they were longer, and I'm looking at you going, no. So the best I can hope to get done if I do a short, like if we do the new install diary short, those usually get done, you know, maybe between 12:30 and 1:30. I edit on a Mac, so right now everything we edit is in iMovie. Final Cut is probably where I'm going to end up, just because we need multi-layering on some of the other videos we do. And the reason why I haven't moved out of iMovie is because I haven't needed to. In the end of the day, it's as long as I can keep putting out the content we need. There's really I don't want the editor to get in the way of the actual creating of the content. So.
You go.
Okay.
Jalisco, Mexico. Rockford Fosgate fan. Nice.
Audio Control Epicenter thoughts. I love them.
Oh yeah.
I think they're cool as hell. I mean, that was you know, in the H3 video, in the end, we were able to, because that was the one thing I was worried about in that one, was were we going to be able to capture what the Epicenter does, because I knew the microphone was not going to handle what we were putting out of that.
Correct.
So luckily the shaking was perfect. So that was awesome that we got that it came out like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Definitely, Keith. And it ain't broke. It ain't broke yet. So. All right, go ahead. Question.
All right, let's see. I have this one. I lost it.
I wouldn't switch. It's just for money.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Actually, I have to get something that allows me, because iMovie. The problem with iMovie here. Here we go. Movie editing talk with 5-star car stereo. The problem with iMovie is you can only do one layer. So you can have the main track and you have one layer above it, and you can do an audio track. The live show that we do, the Facebook Live show, it actually has 2 tracks, so I have to import it, export it out twice to add in all the lower thirds and the upper stuff. So, yeah. Which I wouldn't need to do if I had the other software. So that's probably why we're going to upgrade to that, at least just for that show.
All right, noise canceling system that comes with the new cars. What do you guys do to come back for adding a sub?
We unplug them. I mean, at the end of the day, the goal for any ANC, which is what it's called, is to get rid of that. So if a car comes in with ANC, the first thing you have to do is figure out how to get around it. So
where is it?
Where is it? Is it as simple as just unplugging the microphones? How many microphones does it have? Yeah. Is it going to affect anything else in the car? It's a nightmare. It can absolutely suck. Yeah. So, you know, luckily it's been okay. Yeah. The reason why I don't want to go with Adobe Premiere is because Adobe Premiere isn't native, and it's faster import-export times with Final Cut on an Apple. So I can export the video faster because it operates. Apple doesn't open it all the way up for those guys. So, and I'm a Mac guy, so you know it's about timing. You know, because I sit there and wait for it to export at nighttime. I want to go to bed. All
right. So. All right. Hey guys, what is a good touchscreen screen Pioneer that doesn't have a motorized screen?
A good touchscreen that doesn't have a motorized screen? That's a Pioneer. Yeah. Which one you like? I mean, it's non-motorized. There's only one. There's the MVH 2300. MVH. If you want a 7-inch, there's really no 6. I mean, the 6.2s. No. I mean, if we don't need motorized and I want a big screen and I don't need a DVD player, I'm going to get the MVH 23. Oh! No, you know what I'd want? I'd want the apparator replacement. The new MVH 14, what is it, or whatever. 1440? No, the 1440 is... No. That's the 14,000. The NEX, the 14,000. Yeah. Yeah, the 14,000 NEX. It's the old Apparadio. Yeah. That just came out. It's a 6.2 inch, but it's got the capacitive touchscreens. Very nice. Anything MVH, yeah, for sure. Okay.
Let's see.
My car stock audio sucks. What would you recommend for a 2-seat smart car? Just replace. Yep. Yeah, you got to replace the speakers, man.
That's fun to replace the speakers.
Yeah, you got to replace the speakers by removing the outside skins. It's a lot of fun. YouTube that one. That one's a chore. So definitely need to find out what. What do you
think about the 360?
Well, this is the 360. I've never used the Helix DSP, and to be honest with you, the only 360 we ever did, we didn't get into that much because we just skipped right over and went to the DSR1. So it's a tough one. A lot of guys like that Helix DSP Pro though.
All right, throwback head units: Kenwood KDC PS900 or the Alpine CDA 9815. Which one for sound quality?
Alpine.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, back in the day, Alpine killed it for sound quality. Really? I mean, that was awesome. They you know, that was fun.
Which one is better, or which one do you prefer, coaxial or component?
It just depends what I'm doing. I mean, you know, I don't get hung up on that so much. You know, a lot of the time. So, for example, if all right, so follow this logic for a minute. Yeah. If I got a car and I got a set of 6.5s in the door, and I'm like, I really want an awesome set of 6.5s. And let's say I have $300 to spend. Okay, so do I buy a set of $250 to $300 components, okay, that might be okay, or do I go out and buy a $300 set of, let's say, K2 6.5 coaxials? Okay? So if I need the separation, yeah, I'm going to go, you know, but what in the end, those K2 coaxials are probably going to sound better. You know, it just really comes down to whether you want the separation or not. So it's tough. It's a tough call.
All right. When you do a time correction on the front speakers, do you measure from the mid bass or from the tweeter?
I go from the tweeter. We go from the tweeter. But there again, that's... Okay, we go from the tweeter. We started going at the halfway point originally, and then we moved to the tweeter because we were getting better results. each car is a little bit different. Sometimes we'll measure to the tweeter and it'll sound totally wrong. We'll bring it back a little bit to where it would be the halfway point, and it sounds better. So it's no car is like, oh, you have to do this. No, it's like practicing medicine. We're practicing time correction here. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Because we've done all the measuring once and got it in there, and we're like, and it was like, this isn't working.
Exactly, and then you
start over and do it again. It's like, that's
right.
You know.
Do you ever run new speaker wires into the doors when you put in a 4-channel amp over the speed wire that you use? You know, from the the factory wiring.
So okay, if we can run, all right. So here's the deal: if we can run through a boot, then yeah, we can run new speaker wire. Most cars don't have a boot anymore that's run through. You have to like drill through the door thingy, you know, to get wires in. To me, that's not the best way to do something for the longevity of the car. To get the small benefit that you're going to get from this little piece of wire. So, you know, if they ever have to service it where they have to take the door off, what are they going to do with this 16 gauge wire you just ran through the grommet that isn't unpluggable? So now they have to cut the wire and then take it back to you because the dickhead installer did this, or and it's not like you can put a connection in there that will pass through. Some of the boots allow you to go around the outside of the plug, which is nice because you're not drilling through it. But if I have to drill through a plug, we're not going through that. What we'll do is we'll go as close as we can into the kick, so that all that's left is this much of the factory wire. If 18 inches of factory wire is going to make that big of a difference, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
All right. Hello. One question. Yes. I have a factory radio on my 2008 Lexus. I put a LOC to add an amplifier, but the problem is that one speaker lines is giving me a very low ohms.
Okay.
So that's it.
So he ran wires or he's metering wires?
Yeah. That's it. It's just.
So I mean, here. Okay. When you're metering wires at an amplifier, if you measure one speaker, let's say it meters 3.4, and the one next to it measures 3.4, and one meters 2.4. Let's say that's one side of the car. You should have the exact same matching on the other side. If you have one random wire that meters something strange, chances are good it's either connected to a blown speaker or it's not a speaker wire. So I would leave it alone. If you're done metering everything and you're missing one speaker out of the collection, well then you might want to do a continuity test between those wires and that speaker, and just to see if it's that wire and that speaker's messed up. But you always have to be careful when you're doing this. So that's that.
All right. Hey guys, do you guys have any experience with the audio control D 4.800?
Yeah.
What is the third input below the USB port? And how can I test each wire on my speed wire to see which one is good?
So that's an expansion part that's going to be for either the Bluetooth dongle or for the iData connection that's coming for it. So those are just expansion ports for it. That's all that's for. And what was the second part of the question?
All right.
You want to test your speed wire?
And how can I test each wire on my speed wire to see which one is good? Oh.
I mean, if you want to test the wire to see if the wire is good, you're going to want to do a continuity test between point A and point B. So, you set your voltmeter to continuity, which is beep, and you just test it. And each wire should meter the same continuity. So, like if this is metering 0.001, everyone should meter 0.001. If one meter is like something different, then chances are good that one's bad.
All right, I have two T2 12-inch Rockford Fosgate with a power 1500.
Okay.
Do you think it's enough power, or should I upgrade it? My amp.
Okay.
That's the 1500, the Rockford Fosgate.
Yeah, that's 2001 amp.
Yeah.
What was it on?
Should I upgrade it? T2s.
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 The old T2s.
Yeah.
Okay. No. It's 1,000 watts a piece.
So that's perfect.
That should hammer the crap out of those.
Yeah.
I mean, just give me an
Also,
idea.
should I install a second battery?
Yes. Yes to the second battery, and that should be plenty of power to power those all day long. But yes, you definitely want to add some more power for the battery. Thinking about connecting the last bit of factory wire at the kick panel. What about when a stock mid-bass is then connected to the tweeter in parallel, like in a Ford Fusion Sony Premium? There again, it's one of those situations where you have to figure out what you're doing and how hard it's going to be. We just did a Ford Fusion, and it had the Sony system, and it was a tweeter for the front and a tweeter for the door.
Yeah.
The only thing in this door was a mid-bass. That's it. There was just a mid-bass in the door. If it's most of the time when it's a three-way set in the door, like when you have a Volkswagen, the crossovers are mounted in the door. So you have this three-way set and it's all mounted in the door. There's two wires coming in the door. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that with that. You're going to have to come up with a solution. So there's always exceptions to every rule. And it's just a matter of trying to find what works best in most situations. In some situations, you're screwed. I mean, you got an F-250 that comes in and he wants to add tweeters into the sail fins and he wants it all to be active. And it's like, okay, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to have to drill the plug. That's going to suck. So, yeah, sometimes you have to do it. But if we can avoid doing it, we try to avoid doing it just out of respect for the car. Sometimes you gotta get dirty.
Alright, it's such as a wire harness for a 2017 Yaris hybrid to keep the steering wheel controls and the factory reverse camera on the new double DIN head units.
I mean, I would obviously check iData, or I would check the Pack Audio RP4.2 TY11. Both of them are going to have external camera harness. Well, the iData may come with the camera. iData is sketchy when it comes to the
Hello, Argentina.
To the camera harness. Pack makes two camera harness adapters. They make an 11 and a 12. Both of those will interface with the modern Toyotas. I think iData is offering those now, but check Pack. Just go to pack-audio.com and see what they have listed.
Alright, this is cool. Aiden, since you purchased the new iPhone 10s for you girls, I think they should get you a new iMac Pro.
I like my iMac that I have now. It does what I need it to do.
So that means you don't want it?
I don't want one right now. I don't.
If they give you one?
No, they wouldn't, because at the end of the day, if they gave me one, I'd still be paying for it.
so
no.
Okay,
no.
so you don't want to buy yours.
I don't want to buy myself a new iMac Pro. I don't really need it. I mean, I'm rocking the new MacBook Pro laptop that I have. I'm really loving that. It's doing everything I needed to do. I haven't hit any speed bump problems yet. I mean, granted, it's only like what, 7 months old, so I spec'd it out big time. So yeah, Apple took me to the cleaners. But no, I'm good. I don't want one of those yet. But thanks. That's like, okay. So funny story. That's like when I bought my first set of Sennheiser headphones, and I didn't buy them. I was searching for noise canceling over here big headphones, and at the time I was gonna be like everyone else and be a chump and buy some Bose. Okay. Because it just seemed like that was the thing, and then I finally found like the headphone review guys, and I started looking around, and at the time everyone was like, for flying and for traveling and for noise canceling, you want these Sennheisers 450s, and these are the ones, and I found them, and this was like 6 years ago, and so 6 years ago I think they were like $450, and that was like way crazy. I was like, I'm not spending $400. So for my birthday, they went in. I just put them on my Amazon. What I do on my Amazon is I put a lot of things into a wish list that is just for me to remember to do more research on it. Well, they went into the wish list and said, "Oh, here's the headphones he wants," and they buy them for me. I didn't know, and they're like, "Surprise!" And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them, and they're badass to this very day. I just bought new cushions for them. I use them when I'm working on my iMac. But, all right. Yeah, that was shocking.
It is okay to not use a crossover with an aftermarket component set. The car has built-in Pioneer amp that separates the feed from the tweeters to the door speakers already. It's a 2011 Honda CRC.
Okay, so here's the deal. Unless you have an RTA that you can physically see what frequencies are getting to that tweeter, okay?
Just plug your crossover.
Plug the crossover in. It's not going to hurt anything at all. It may make it a little less loud, but unless you can actually see them, don't trust them, because there might be a cap on the tweeter. It might be a full range signal going into it. You don't know, because Honda loves to put capacitors in line, down line. So, you know, there's a lot of weird things that they do. Now, if you can find a capacitor, or if you have an RTA and you can physically see the frequency response coming out of that, or you can find somebody that has an image of the frequency response coming out of that, by all means, go for it. But be safe. You know, you don't want to blow your speakers because you assume something. Sennheiser and Klipsch are some good headphones. I really like. I have 2 pairs of Sennheisers. I'm getting ready to have a third. It's like a baby at this point. I haven't tried the Klipsch. I'll have to check those out. But yeah.
Then we'll hold on for the iPhone X Plus, the 10 Plus.
Yeah. I want a bigger phone. You know, I like the 10. I thought it was cool. It's too small. You know, when you're carrying, like you guys with the notes and all those, you get used to carrying this big thing around, and everyone's, oh, the screen. I don't care about the screen. I care about the size. I like to feel the size in my hand. It's like I'm comfortable with this, and like a lot of you guys out there, it doesn't matter the brand. Let's take the brand out of the equation. You get used to a certain feel in your hand. And it's like, you know, it's like a weapon almost, and you know, and then when they shrink it, you're like, ew.
All right, how do I get?
No, I'm not getting 800s. I'm looking at the 650s because apparently the 650s sound amazing. So
for what you want to do.
For what I want to do.
Correct.
I actually called Sennheiser and talked to them because, God forbid, you actually have a retail store where you can actually go listen to a freaking headphone.
So I'm assuming the HD 800, they're really nice for like music and crazy stuff.
Yeah, they are.
For the 600 series,
you need an amplifier too.
Yeah.
So the 650s are 150 ohm headphone. So that'll nice. you won't need a amplifier for it. So it's great for a laptop or a portable device. Whereas like the 800s, I want to say they're either a 300 or 400 ohm headphone. Oh, wow. So if you're not using some form of a headphone amplifier, you're not getting any sound out of those.
I have my 30 ohm.
You have your 30 ohm Alpines,
50
baby,
ohm Alpines
with bass engine.
Correct.
So
you turn it on and it's like
they are completely flat headphones. Yeah, they're real nice. But yeah, so
yeah,
I need mine for editing, mainly for that. I mean, I have the. Welcome to Headphone Talk with 5-Star Car Stereo. So these are the Sennheisers I've been using. These are the I think they're called HC1. This is the Pink Floyd Special Edition. So these are nice. They go like this. They have great noise canceling.
Really, they go like that?
They go like that. The noise canceling on this is it's Bluetooth with it uses aptX Bluetooth.
Flat studio monitors. Okay.
Yeah. This has aptX Bluetooth, which is of course the better Bluetooth, and the noise canceling on these is phenomenal. But they're just not made to be worn for 4 or 5 hours. You get a lot of ear fatigue from them. So I don't know. Plus I have big ears, so these are a little bit smaller than I would like. So the 650s have really big cups, and they're open backs. So the open backs will breathe more. So when you're wearing a headphone for 5 hours, you get a little bit more air in there, and the pillows are a little bit more comfortable. Plus around the ears a little bit bigger. Yep. And not that I know anything about headphones, but I've been learning. Oh, really nice set too. Hold on. So Sejeki, those of you guys that saw the show with Sejeki, they rep a brand called Master Dynamic. These guys here, these things are sexy. Ooh, look at these, man. These things sound amazing. And this is so soft. But he let me borrow these to see how these worked. These are his personal ones. But these things are really nice. These are expensive too. And and they're kind of vented out the back here, not so much as the Sennheisers, but the pillows were a little too small. But these things sounded amazing. Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so let's see.
Sorry, guys.
Let's get into the headphones. What do you guys have? Oh, what about the Sony ones? Everybody was talking about the Sony ones.
Yeah, everyone likes those Sony ones. You know, they have those at Best Buy. I was gonna go listen to those because again, they have aptX, and I think they have bigger cushions too. But I
like that one.
What does it say? 5-star car audio just turned into Guitar Center Pro Audio Department.
That's awesome.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Oh, wait,
how to tell old school car audio guy mentioned 7909, and I'm sure D knows it.
Look at this one.
What do we got? Oh yeah, here we got the guitar picks.
If you got the guitar picks.
Yeah.
Right there.
So, all right. So, funny story behind these. So, these are the for those of you guys who have never seen these before. See how they say audio control. All right. So, these are the audio control guitar picks, and I had no idea why those were in the box because Dean is becoming a headphone audiophile. Yeah, I love headphones. I got to be honest with you. It's becoming an addiction. It really sucks. So, I said to Chris Bennett, I said, you know, hey, why the hell do you guys put the guitar picks in the box? And he looks at me, he's like, seriously? I go, yeah, I have no idea. He goes, it's our screwdriver. That's what we use for setting the knobs. And I go, oh. Duh. Totally missed that one.
Apparently, the screwdrivers are expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah, that was pretty funny. But anyways, that was that.
Yeah.
All right, so.
That's cool.
Turn on the pots. Okay.
Turn on the pots. Yeah.
Okay. Use a headphone amp. Use a headphone amp to get the most out of them. Yeah, but you got to be real careful. Like I said, those are the 650Ss from Sennheiser, 150 ohm. You really don't need to drive them too hard. And actually, I talked to Sennheiser, and they're like, "Yeah, check out this brand called Shits." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "Let me spell it for you." So, audio control just wants to pick on you. Oh, that's funny.
I know. All right,
caught
so
another live throw. Awesome, Thomas.
How can I get reverse line into the Pioneer 2440 NEX? And what dash kit should I use? It's a 2011 Toyota Camry.
Okay, that is a great question. Jose?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Jose caught on something that I just recently found out about, and we're gonna talk about this real quick. And this is a great topic. So here's the deal. Pioneer has been made aware of we're going to call it a DOT regulation to make things simple. And basically what it says is as a secondary manufacturer, you're not supposed to add anything to a camera that wasn't there from the factory. So, for example, backup lines. If the factory comes equipped with backup lines, they should be retained from the factory and not from the aftermarket radio. I don't know what any of this means other than to say the Pioneer lawyers got really excited about this and decided to pull those out of the 2400 and any current radio right now going forward until they figure out what it all means. So the new 2400s, the new 14s, all those radios are now shipping with no backup line adjustability whatsoever. Now, Kenwood and Alpine are still doing it as everyone else, but Pioneer's freaking out about this for some reason. I recently just found out about it, and they were like, I don't even know how you're going to pitch this, and I was like, I don't either. It doesn't make any sense. So, you can't.
The only solution is get a backup camera with lines.
You'd be surprised what, that's it right there. Dean, you'd be surprised what Shit Audio Avant-Garde 2 can do even to drive headphones. Amazing. Dude, they looked really cool. I'm going to buy one of those amplifiers for sure, especially the little tube one. Oh, I'm a sucker for a tube amp. No doubt about it. So, yeah, definitely want to check that out.
There you go. So, check Jason. Jason just put the model number for you.
Dash the Camry, that's a BK-TOYK 983S. Thank you, Jason.
And Jason has a YouTube channel also called Stereo King.
Stereo King.
So you guys can check it out. Yep.
And of course, Teespring /store /5star stereo will get you cool t-shirts. Patreon if you feel like supporting the show. And of course, DNFtooldrawer.com will take you to all the tools that we use. We try to
Bye, Victor.
Loki. It's not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing, but no spoilers. Schnitt is nearly all U.S. made too. Even as Canada, I can't appreciate that fact. It's made. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I was just looking at all the Schnitt stuff. It looks cool. And there again, I'm a sucker for anything that looks like a Mac, and it comes in cool silver aluminum, so it's going to look really nice sitting on my desk. So, pretty excited about that. What's the best thing you keep my? What's the best thing to keep my steering wheel and my original backup camera? There again, pack-audio.com. Check out like the CP2 for steering wheel controls. Plus, also check and see if they make a retention for backup camera. Most aftermarket factory backup cameras, I should say, are 6-volt, so you'll need something like that. Do you guys make hardware decisions based on the type of music the customer likes, or do you rely on tuning? No, heck no. Everything that I deal with, anytime you're talking to me, if I don't ask you when we're designing a system, if I don't ask you in the first 15 to 20 minutes when we're designing a system, I don't ask you in the first part of the conversation that we're having what type of music you listen to, chances are good, I don't think you're serious. Because I need to know what type of music you listen to design you a system.
Alright, this is the last question for Jonah. I just installed a 4-channel amp and an audio control LC6 and the Lexus GS350 with a stock stereo. Can I use the DD1? Do I unplug the RCAs from the audio control and plug it into the DD1 to see where is the stair?
The clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, what you're gonna anytime so the basically how you're going to use a DD1 is you have your factory radio or your aftermarket radio. You need to find out where that clips before it goes into your device. So you need to find out where bad is there. In this scenario, because you're using the audio control piece, it is best to do it before the audio control piece. So you want to come out of the radio, find clip before you go into the audio control. Now, the audio control has a clip light indicator built into what's your audio control? Is it?
Is the 6
DM608?
No.
Okay, so it's not a DM product.
No.
So yeah, you're gonna want to find clip LC6. Yeah, you're gonna want to find clip before there so that you can maximize the signal going into it. Now, from there, the audio control has its maximized light. It'll tell you when your signal is maximized coming out of there. And then you can do it again at the output of the amplifier to maximize the output of the amplifier. Now, when you're using an LC6i, 7i, all those, they have line drivers, so that is going to be a lot of signal coming out of it. More than likely, you're going to keep the gains down in the amplifier almost all the way, but you can turn them up a little bit.
So he said, do I set the audio control first?
No, you want to find your radio first, then your audio control, then your amplifier. Just in order of the way it's installed.
So can I plug the RCAs to the DD1?
Yeah, but there again, you're gonna find the DD1 is gonna be for out of the radio, out of the amplifier. The LC6i is gonna be it's gonna do itself. It has its clip light indicators already built into it. You're gonna use those little yellow lights that turn on when you're playing music. You're gonna use those. So those are gonna be the LCQ1 does its own clipping indication. So you're fine there. You don't need to use it for that. You just need to use it out of the amplifier and out of the radio. So find where your radio clips. Audio control, use the gains, use their lights. Out of the amplifier, see where they go bad. And that's it for tonight, guys. We already told you everything. Let's see. Kicker L. Solbergs. Thanks. Yeah. Kicker Solbergs versus Rockford. Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't have an answer for that tonight. I don't want to get into that. T1s versus L715s. Ooh, that's a tough one. 4 12s. I've done 4 T112s, and that's pretty freaking impressive. And I've done 2 L715s because I did time. Damn. I don't know. That's tough. That's tough.
Well, it depends also the box.
Yeah, how much room you have. You're going to need a casket for both of them. Yeah. I don't think you're going to go wrong either way. I think you should go for the shock and awe.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys. You have a wonderful night as always.
See you guys Monday, whatever you guys...
Have a great evening. Be safe.